Welcome to Social Media Marketing. Tonight we'll be discussing Chapter 2 of the Stu-Kent textbook. Chapter 2 of the Stu-Kent textbook has to deal with understanding the connectivity and social interactions that happen on social media. After reading the chapter, you should be able to do the following. Understand what a social network is at its most basic level and how it works, especially with the concept of nodes and ties. Next, we'll talk about social networks, nodes and ties, and knowing their definitions. You'll also need to understand and be able to discuss the implications of connectivity and activity and the difference between those. Basically understanding the values of hubs versus pumps for information dissemination on social media. So let's jump into it, shall we? Social media is a series of nodes and ties. Nodes are the people on social media, so you and all your friends. Ties are the relationships between a pair of nodes. Multiplicity is the different types of ties between pairs and nodes. And then the tie strength is the intensity of those ties between pairs of nodes. If we take a look at this figure, and imagine yourself as this circle in the middle. You're tied to a bunch of different people. Take, for instance, Facebook. You may be tied to somebody, and they may be tied to somebody else. Through that connection, you are initially tied to that second person. Sometimes even your nodes that you're tied to are tied to people that you share a tie with as well. Understanding visually how amplification works with nodes and ties is a very important aspect of social media. We're all interconnected somehow on social media. It's like the old game, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. That's a game that you play, at least old people like me play, by naming movies that Kevin Bacon stars in, and then naming a co-star. And you have 6 steps. You have to name 6 movies that person that was with that's co-starred with Kevin Bacon in that first film you mentioned, stars again with Kevin Bacon in a different movie. As you can see, nodes and ties work together to help create a web effect of social media. Now, understanding connectivity and activity is very important too. Social media marketing is a process, basically a way of thinking, that involves identifying opportunities for leveraging social interactivity among consumers in an open and flexible social media environment with fast-paced flows of information. In fact, social media marketing is the only marketing channel that touches each P of the marketing mix. If you think about the promotional aspect or advertising, of course you can use social media to advertise products and services. If you think about the placement or distribution chain of a product, understanding where your product should be placed is very important as well. Next, packaging. Packaging decisions could be made getting feedback directly from consumers on social media. And finally, pricing. Again, using social media to get feedback on price points and what the market could bear for pricing. So social media marketing is a process that involves all these opportunities and leveraging that social interactivity with your consumers and their connections. When considering a social media marketing plan, you need to focus on how marketing activities through a social media presence can create value for your company overall. Now, value is defined differently for each and every person. You can have a social media presence to generate revenue. You can have a social media presence to engage and grow a community. You can even have a social media presence to allow for consumer feedback. Social activity, the extent to which a social tie between two people is used for communication or interaction, is the level of social activity between those people. Now, if you think about it, there's two types of people on social media. The high connectivity people on social media are the social hubs, and they might not be actively, highly active transmitters of information. For instance, if we think about hubs, these are the people that are connected to lots of individual peoples and networks, right? Are connected to a lot of people. However, pumps are people who are highly socially active and transmit information frequently. So when we look at hubs versus pumps, we have to balance as social media marketers the importance of finding people that are hubs that are highly connected to a large number of people to pumps that are highly active. So in the upper right hand coordinate is hubs and pumps. These are our ideal people that we want to be connected to and help spread and transmit our messages. That's our goal of our brand on social media, is to be a hub and a pump. So it's important to be highly connected as well as highly active on social media. The average Facebook number of posts that your company should post, around 3 to 5 a week. And the average number of people that you should be connected to can range anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000 based off of the size of your company. A local company might have a much smaller connectivity. And as we go through this course, you'll find ways that you can connect and disseminate information without being connected to people. And that is the pay to play feature of social media, where you can target individuals and individual accounts on social media without being connected formally to them. So the impact on the participants refers to the likelihood that the social interaction, if it takes place, will have a strong influence on the attitudes or behaviors of the participants in the interaction. And also the barriers to activation refer to the ease or difficulty of the social tie being activated in order for the social interaction to occur. And basically, if we go back to this model of the hub versus pump, this is why it's very important to have that hub and pump both. Well, that's it for Chapter 2. Remember that this week, Chapter 2's quiz is due, so make sure that you go in and complete it. Just a note that your Edify account is not connected to your Canvas account, so it may take me a couple days after the assignment is due, or even up to a week, to get your grades posted in Canvas. You can simply watch and look at your grades right here in the grades notebook right here. If you have any questions, please make sure to reach out to me. Until next week, have a good week.